Howdy folks, Jeremy from the Archeryshack back again with another video. This time we've got a Mathews Monster 6 to restring. The guy, I'll do a close-up in a second, but we got a cable that has been cut. It's actually got the original factory strings on it from what about 10-12 years ago, so definitely time for some strings. We made him some custom red strings out of BCY X99. If you need some strings from us, check down in the description, archeryshackstrings.com. We'll be happy to get you fixed up. So we're going to install these and get this bow tuned up and get him ready to shoot again. So let's go over to the bow press and start swapping out strings and cables. We made it to the press. We'll go ahead and take the string off. You got to be careful. We see a lot of this happen more often than not. People come in with an original string from 10, 15 years ago on a bow, and it's a bomb waiting to happen. This, I'm sure you've seen in the little clip I got, but I mean, it looks like there's only about a third of the cable still holding together. And people get bows and just don't understand how bad it's going to be when, you know, if it blows up. This guy, I'm glad he got it in here, but he had called about a week before he brought it and said he had some fraying on a cable, had just got the bow, you know, pretty much asking, is it okay to shoot? And I said, well, you know, without me seeing it, I don't know. I said, but if you can see bare string, probably not. And then he asked me what would happen if it did blow up. And I said, well, you know, it could just be nothing. I said, it could damage the bow, or I said, it could damage you, you know. And he's like, well, I just want to shoot it. I'm going to take my chances. And I was like, okay. And then when he brought it in, we were like, he was actually wanting us to check the poundage and all this stuff on it. And TJ told him, he was like, absolutely, we're not pulling this thing back. And he drew it in front of TJ to show him something. But anyway, people don't understand, if you've never had a bow blow up for one reason or another in your hand, it's a pretty dangerous type of a thing. So if you're worried about a string or cable, it's best to just go ahead and get it fixed. E-clip down. Okie dokie. Let me get us in focus here. We are back to the vise. Got the strings on. Let me just do a quick check. Make sure we're in the ballpark. We are. This bow's a 6-inch brace height, 33.5-inch axle. We're all over that. So, I'm gonna put a loop on here, get his peep set back where it was in his old string, go to the draw board, get the rest timing set, and get the cam timing set, and then we'll go paper tune this beauty. So, stick with me. I'll see what we can do here. Let me find all my stuff. If you're new to the channel, or if you hadn't subscribed yet, hit the old subscribe button. It would mean a lot to us. We do a lot of bow reviews. We have a podcast that we do. And we also do a live feed on YouTube on Thursday nights. Do some giveaways, do all kinds of different stuff. So tune in, check us out. Let us know what we can do to help you. But I appreciate you watching. I'm going to get my bow level. I got to find my arrow level. I done lost it. Here it is. We got 20 of them, and I can't. As you can tell, we've got a mess. I've never worked in a shop that wasn't a mess, but we come in here and clean and get it looking good, and a week later we got looks like a tornado came through. I'm going to tie these little, if you've watched other videos, I do this on most every bow. These little knot ties inside the loop. And again, I do this because A, I don't want the knot to get pinched and the arrow to lift up off the rest. B, if we have to switch loops, you know, let's say in a year or two his loop gets wore out and he needs a new one. Well, we don't have to guess or try to, you know, we want to make sure we keep the exact same spot, and this really helps with that. So I won't bring the camera in close on this one, but on several videos, if you look back, I've got it real close where you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm just tying a little knock. I usually use a BCY 3D serving thread for this and for my tying in of the peep. Got my top one done. Go ahead and burn it. And, you know, some people just put one on top or one on bottom. I do top and bottom. I just don't want that loop to creep in there and put pressure against my arrow nock. I remember when this bow came out, Mathews broke my heart because they had hammered solo cam into my head and into everybody else's head for so long. And then they come out with a freaking quad track 2-cam bow. And I remember thinking, what in the world are they thinking? Little did I know they would use this almost pretty much same technology and still be doing it 11 years later. But you couldn't, I mean, they Mathews hammered that. Solar cam was the only way for years and years and years. And back then I was, I mean, a heavy Mathews man. So what I'm going to do now is I take a little bit of glue. If I can get my glue to work here. Well, I just broke it. Let me get another glue. I take a little dot of glue and I put over these knots because I don't want the arrow knot to agitate these where I tied them off. This one don't work either. Man, let me get a good glue. Hang on. I'm back. You don't want the arrow knot to agitate where you tied off this serving, and it's not like on the first shot it's going to untie it, but you know, I don't want him to come back in here and say, one of these knots come untied, because that would pretty much defeat the purpose of me even doing it. So I put the tiniest little dot of glue, not on the center serving. I hadn't seen this in a while, but I used to. People come in and have their freaking they'd have glue all around the peep sight, and I think they were trying to do the same thing, maybe put a dot of glue when they tied in their peep to make sure it didn't come loose, but they ended up getting it on the fibers of the bowstring, and the bowstrings would be broke, and it's just, don't, be careful. That's all I'm saying, be careful. What y'all think, a red loop? I think we might as well do red since everything else is red. Let me get over here and cut us a piece. Got it. We've been doing some random little giveaways on our Thursday night live feed. It's at 6:30 on Thursdays. Gave a stabilizer away this past week. It was pretty neat. Definitely get on there. We've got, actually, finally had a couple companies reach out and show some interest in giving us some stuff to give away, so that I don't have to fund the giveaway. So I'm hoping in the next few weeks we can release some details on that. Okay, I'm gonna tie my loop on here. Slide it up to my little inner nocks there. And another thing we've talked about before is, one thing I really like about these Mathews is they have little holes in the cam. I call it a string window, but you can look at the cable, and in general, before you even go to the draw board, if you got that cable in the middle of that little hole, the timing will be close. So we already know we're in the ballpark. Most of the time it may only take a twist or two if you got adjusted at all. Once you do that, I just like knowing as soon as I take it out of the press, I can look. If I need to make a small adjustment, I can. If not, I'm good. And then when we get to the draw board, it's not a big guessing game. Let this thing dry or cool off for a second. Go ahead and line up where his old peep was at. Up here. It looks like her. Don't go down. So now I'm going to tighten this loop up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tie in the peep because I just lined it up. So I'm going to back you up a hair so I can let this bow down. That probably didn't work out just right, did it? Let me do that. See if I can get us in focus here. Not so much. Anyway, it'll work. So now I'm going to tie in this peep. Well, this may or may not focus exactly. I'm hoping it'll be semi-decent. It always wants to focus on the wall, and then I need to go in and set it on manual focus and just leave it on this exact spot. But I didn't do it, so we'll roll with it for right now. I do like the red on this bow, the red string, because it's got the red axles in it, and it's got the red ripcord rest, and it's got just a few hints of red like on the logo and stuff. Kind of makes it, I like it when a bow's got just a little bit of accent of a color, and then you can play with it, because you can, kind of like with this bow, it's just got, the bow itself just got a tiny bit of red, but then you put these red strings on it and it just kind of makes it pop. But it definitely seems like bow companies use more red than anything. You know, Mathews, some of their bows have got a lot of red, or a little bit of red. Bowtech, just a lot of, I guess red's a safe color. We make a lot of flow green strings, but there's really not a bow with any flow green in it except that new PSC, the John Dudley bow, as I call it, the NTN. It's got some flow green in the limbs. Okay. Now we'll tie around the peep, and then we'll go check stuff on the draw board. Get the rest timing right. Well, first I'm going to worry about the cam timing. And we'll get the rest timing right. And then we'll see what she does through paper. Get that nice and snug. Okay. I'm going to take y'all over to the draw board and we'll continue over there. Okie dokie, I got her hooked up on the draw board. I'm going to pull it back, check the cam timing. On this bow, I'm just looking at the stops and see if they hit the same at the same time. We're hitting our max poundage right on the dot. That's her. That actually worked out great. Let me check the rest timing while we're here. It ain't bad. We have got, I don't know if you can hear it in this video, the top cam is making a little bit of a clicking sound. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it back apart real quick. I'm going to put a little lithium grease on that axle and slide it back in. That'll fix that. Actually, I'm going to listen one more time and make sure it's coming from the cam and not the limb cup, but that should be our issue. Alright, let's throw a little grease on that. We sort of lucked up. I put those cables in the middle of the window that I was talking about. I'm going to take the bow out of here and show you what I'm talking about. Let's see, make sure you can see what I'm talking about here. So you see that? Let me get this thing to focus, I'm sorry. Okay. There's the window. See how that cable goes right through the middle of it? It's the same on the bottom. So I got that lined up before I even took it out of the press. And that ended up working out perfect. The timing's dead on. Everything's dead on. So now really I just got to paper tune it, except for I got this creaking sound coming out of my axle. So I'm going to throw some grease on it. Let's go over to the press. I'll show you that process real quick. Okay, so I just took the E-clip off. I'm going to take a little screwdriver will work. I'm going to tap this through and let it sit there and hold the cam. I'm going to put a little lithium grease on this axle, and then I'm going to go back to the draw board and pull it back a few times, and our clicking sound should go away. I don't know if you could hear it on there. You probably could. It was a semi-bad clicking sound. So it's really dry. Usually it has a little machine oil or something on there. I'm gonna walk over here and hit it with a little lithium grease. Okay. Might have got more than I wanted. I'm gonna slide it back in. And now that should have fixed it. Let's go see what happens. Ta-da! I think we got rid of it. So I guess we'll go back to the paper tuner. One thing I noticed before I got back there real quick, the string stop is a good piece from the string. That could be a couple reasons. Most likely it's just because the strings had stretched out, and now we've put a shorter string on it, and it's increased the brace height. I didn't check the specs and all that beforehand because that cable was so tore up. So I'm going to back it up and put a little credit card width between the string and the string stop. I don't know, I might have seemed like I just said cable rod, my bad, before that. And then I'll meet you back there. Okie dokie, we're back here at the paper tuner. Usually these bows do decent once you get those timing marks on and get your cams time, which we got. Arrows level. Eyeballed the center shot, which it was already set before we tinkered with it. So let's just see what she does. It don't look bad from here. Let me take you in closer. Pretty good start. Let's see what she's going to chronograph. That's not the speed from this bow. That was from somebody else, I guess, yesterday. What we got is a 395 grain arrow, a 29-inch draw, and we got it back down to 65 pounds. Mathews Monster 6. I didn't look the specs up, but if my memory serves me correctly, this bow is rated a little over 350, I think. So let's see what she does. .303, not bad, not bad. So again, thanks for watching. Got this Mathews Monster 6 tuned back up. When he comes in today, I doubt I'll video it, but I may video him and put it on here. I'm gonna have him shoot it, and then he's wanting to change arrows or possibly change arrows, so we'll sort of have to go through the paper tuning process again and do a walk back tune with him. So our paper tune is almost perfect, but I'm gonna let him do it when he gets here, and I got a feeling we're going to end up with a smaller diameter arrow, so we'll have to make a little rest adjustment. But I just wanted to get this recorded so I could kind of show you what we went through. It's kind of neat because you got to see us take the squeak out of the cam. If you need anything from us, give us a call, 864-735-8484. Lots of folks are shipping in their bows to have us restring them or tune them. We also have people calling wanting us to custom build arrows and all sorts of stuff. If you need a bowstring, check out Archeryshackstrings.com. We can build any color. We got several materials to choose from. You can get on there and click around and see what all you see. And anyway, thanks for watching. Check out our other videos. We have several that come out each week. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank y'all.